Well, I got caught in a loop there. That happens sometimes in digital, Matt. You get caught in a loop. Remember when records used to skip?
Oh yeah, I knew.
Just like
Matter
what
of
did
fact,
you do? What was your go-to when the record was skipping?
well,
Were you
here's
the
my
kind of guy that
story.
would get up and
No.
delicately
Here's
move
my
it?
story. Here's my story for the record skip. Mr. Chakowski, sixth grade gym class.
A hero, Tchaikovsky,
Yeah,
Polak.
yeah, a total pole. And he had, back the school that we were in. My parents moved from Detroit out to the burbs, was relatively new, and it had some of the modern accoutrements of the mid '70s, which was an in-wall phono player, record player.
In the wall.
In the wall, it would fold up, right?
Oh, yeah. The old drop down.
The entire year of every day, basically all we did is play. You can't play these games anymore, but we played dodgeball.
Fucking awesome.
Where we just killed people. So anyways, the thing could still get hit by the ball, the super ball, the large super ball that of course you were playing with. And all he played the entire 2-3 years I was in middle school, 6th, 7th, and 8th, was Fleetwood Mac Rumors.
Has Fleetwood Mac pulled their records off of Spotify yet? Where are we at?
Right. And
where are we at with the?
But you knew where the skips were in Rihanna, and you knew where the skips were in all the songs. Even to this day, when I hear a fresh digital version,
you think the skip is going to come and you're going to have to jump up and down?
I do. I know where it is when I'm out there in the dodgeball court. It's so in my head. It's crazy. I go into protect mode. I'm like, whoa, balls are flying at me. I'm hearing Rihanna.
Welcome to the show, Market Vitals, the stream, marketvitals.io, the website, HFR, Bobby Heff, Matt Davio, Miss Trade. Welcome to the show. It's the greatest show on turf, Matt. And speaking of turf, little rumblings going on in your alma materness. Minnesota Vikings will fly Jim Harbaugh in Wednesday, and he said it's a get to know you session in which he expressed genuine interest in the job. Matt, genuine interest in testing the markets to come back to the Regents at the U of Michigan, or genuine interest? Because it doesn't say what his interest was.
Right.
Genuine interest on, hey, it's $100 million deal.
Maybe he just wants to go do some, ice fishing in Minnesota because it's not cold enough in Michigan right now. I don't know.
You said he's not well liked. I mean, Michigan. What coach was ever well liked at Michigan? I mean, it's kind of the
Bo Schembechler,
Western ethos. You hate the guy no matter what, even when they win. You got a chip.
Well, but I'll tell you, it's always been tightly controlled in Michigan, and it's kind of changed. I mean, my grandfather was the president of the Regents, so he and Don Canham had 2 votes, and Fritz Chrysler had 1, and those 3 decided who would be the next coach after Bump Elliott in the 60s, which we all know now is Bo Schembechler. Bo Schembechler, if you'll recall, was a Woody Hayes disciple, coached with Woody, then went on to, he was at Ohio State, then he went on to Miami of Ohio. My grandfather and Don Canham, the new athletic director, they were buddies from Michigan. They went to Michigan in the 30s, both liked each other and were both on the same page. Fritz Chrysler hated Bo, voted against him, and my grandfather and
overruled.
Don Canham outvoted him 2-1, and that's how Bo came in. As a kid, I used to go into Bo's office. I used to go to practices with my grandfather. They were open then. They're not open anymore. But we used to watch practice, and Harbaugh was on the sideline. He was a year and a half, 2 years older than me. He was running around because his dad, Jack, as you know, was coaching for Bo on the offensive side. And so Jim was running around, and I met him as a kid. I don't even know. I was a shy little 8-year-old. He was a big 10-year-old, and he was same mouth then because he's like the youngest kid. I mean, he was a big chirper, and I was not confident at that age. So it was strange. So and then when I went to college in Michigan, I got to play golf with Jim a couple times as a student because he was the same chirper. And I think I've told this story to you before, but his girlfriend was a Theta, and I hung out with some Thetas. I didn't have a girlfriend at the Theta house. And they're like, can you and this other guy who was, really good golfer, they're like, can you just take Jim golfing to the U course, get him out of our house because he's been here for like 2 days.
Yeah, you had to play the diversion.
Yeah, so I mean, he was crazy, and he was crazy then. I mean, we went and played with him a couple times, and he was cool and everything, but he would just never stopped. ADD for sure.
So he's interested, genuinely. I don't know. Matt, let's talk about good guys. This just did. Kurt Russell, one of the good guys, proud member of the Let's Go Brandon, Fuck Joe Biden community. I assume that's what that stands for.
Maybe it means lesbian, gay, bi, fag, Joe Biden.
I don't know why you had to go there, Matt.
Hey,
anyway,
it's alphabet soup. You can do it. Fag means, cigarette, whatever.
A cigarette. Speaking of good guys, Jordan Peterson. And I love this because this is a problem. This is the actual problem.
Yeah.
While Rome burns, you just virtue signaling coward. He's calling him out. Everybody's calling him out. It's unbelievable.
He's toast. He has absolutely inflamed himself like the man in Italy did yesterday.
I mean, it's just like trying to say that the Russians are behind all of this, or there's a bunch of neo-Nazis and KKK and it's unreal. It's unreal that they actually think that somebody's going to believe that. I mean, they actually are sitting down, having a conversation. What do you think we should say? What's the spin? Right. And then that's the spin. It's beyond ridiculous.
It's beyond ridiculous. It's. I mean, how can Saturday Night Live not go off?
I mean, seriously, we had a right-leaning even a centrist Saturday Night Live that busted balls equally on both sides. How great would the comedy be on these narratives that they're trying to spin?
Well, plus you could do like a skit every week where Justin Trudeau is dressed up in a new Halloween costume, right? Like you saw the thing that Tucker Carlson did yesterday, where he showed him in all his Halloween outfits. It was great.
At least Tucker's making an attempt. Hey, Matt, remember Gallagher? Listen,
yeah, we talk about it all the time.
We're going to talk about in the game EA Sports, but this, I got to tell you, not having any money through college, I threw so much money into this game. But the good news is that incredibly, Gallagher now is one of our favorite chart formations. And we have the Gallagher, right? And then we, inspired by the game. So that's the Gallagher. And then we got the double Gallagher. Oh, hold on. I got to get rid of the Gallagher. The double Gallagher. And we talk about it all the time. Like when the show
today we got the triple Gallagher.
And we got a triple. Unreal. Never seen before. Triple Gallagher.
No, it's been seen. It's seen all the time.
Take it away. Look at the triple Gallagher. Perfect.
Triple Gallagher. Really, actually, it's almost a quad if you go just below the range.
No. Those are the Starfighter things. Not the main guns. Those are the scrafing
guns. These are the pellet guns out here. These two on the outside. But you have the upper band, the middle band. This guy blows a lot of smoke, basically. And this guy too, just kind of a smoke. This is the big Gallagher gun right now in today's. So this seems to be holding us. Again, overnight high has held. We went down and held that the low that they tried to break yesterday late in the day. Remember when they trapped everybody rushing to get short and then they scooped them up 150.
Dude, I heard that the buy imbalance was 93,000 contracts in the SPOOB. In the closing range.
Well, I mean, this is why we went up 200 points.
Exactly, because you have to accumulate to take on that closing range imbalance, and believe me, they did.
Mm-hmm. So, where are we? Well, we're basically 30 points below where we closed, 40 points below where we closed. We're not doing a heck of a lot midday here, Bob, as far as the NASDAQ and the SPOOs are concerned. The bonds again, I was talking about this earlier. They were straight down again, another low down.
Yeah, bring back the bonds up because again,
they've rallied in the last few minutes, but they got down to about 154s, 24 or so, and you can see that here. And now back into balance for the lunch run. Again, this does not, to me, look like a bullish market when you look at the bonds, and we've been talking about this. Like, if everything is going to rally and you're going to have the BTFD crowd continue, you got to be up here somewhere, I guess, right now. And I just don't see that happening. I mean, you're not even getting into value. We're dragging along like chum again, and it feels still to me like they want to break this 153 and change level, which is an old level. And once 153 goes, we talked about it before, ding ding, when that goes, you're looking at still the 142s. So just keep that in mind. There's nothing bullish about this bond chart. And the more I talk to local realtors and how bullish they are, and prices are never, I'm hearing this stuff again, how prices will never go down. So you just got to buy. And I'm like, okay. How long you been in the how long you been in the wait, how long you been in the business? Did you start before or after 09, just the last sell-off? Because I know it's been a while.
Unfortunately, I have a $300,000 bad taste in my mouth from that exact thought process.
Well,
exact.
I was talking to a realtor from SLO yesterday, and she was telling me that, she's, everything's sold out. I'm just taking names and filling the book with wait list. I'm like, yeah, because all the rich people are moving from San Francisco, LA. It's the same story you hear here. And I'm like, to SLO, to San Luis Obispo. And I'm like, nah, I'm not buying it.
Well, I mean, yeah, for sure.
Especially when a two bedroom there costs you $1.5 million. I mean, good Lord.
Got the garbage truck coming by.
I'm telling you.
I need better acoustics. All right, Matt, thank you for that. Great analysis on a daily basis out of Mistrade, especially in the NASDAQ, particularly in the NASDAQ. And you can partake of that joining his private room at marketvitals.io. If you're trading the NASDAQ and you don't have somebody with this kind of experience available to you, I think you're doing it wrong. That's just my personal opinion. All right, Matt, I want to jump down to, I want to bring this up and then we're going to backdoor it because we want to talk about Bitcoin. But Mike Novogratz, a giant,
Michael Scott, that's what she said.
A giant crypto guy, right? Fully involved in the crypto space. And when he talked about Joe Rogan, I mean, this one just blew me away because this is how people are thinking about this. And I couldn't be more opposed to the thought process. All right. He says, I don't think anyone is going to cancel Joe Rogan. He was way ahead on psychedelics. True. Check. He was ahead on the growth of mixed martial arts. I don't know how ahead he was. He was into mixed martial arts. He was a TV personality and they asked him to be the commentator.
Right.
So, yeah, it took off, but I don't think he took the job because he was. Anyway, that's and he has a legion of followers who love him, and he acknowledged he could have been more balanced in his presentations on Vax.America, and America needs to learn to do sorry. He didn't say he was sorry.
No,
all right, he didn't say that. Not only that,
he said if I offended you, don't listen. I'm sorry. That's what he said.
What part of him bringing a counter argument to the mountains and mountains of pro-vax everywhere you look? I mean, what does he need to be balanced for? The other side is so overwhelmingly shoved down everybody's throat every freaking day that all he did was bring on. I mean, had there been balance throughout the whole thing, had these voices not been silenced, and he did a great job when he talked about it, had all these
it's interesting
conspiracy theories.
Yeah.
Had they all been proved correct as just conspiracy theories instead of bullshit? I mean, what did he need to be balanced for?
Right.
I don't get that. It
was the balance, matter of fact.
The
thing was, here's what's interesting to me is Jordan Peterson has equally been canceled for the last 3-4 years, right? And he has defied all of them. He continues to write and people continue to buy his books and listen to his podcast and hire him and come to, get him to speak. And people like Elon Musk, who is coming out with a new truck, takes a picture with Joe and Dr. Peterson. I mean, these guys are great voices of independent thinkers. what do you? I mean, what is Mike Novogratz, who considers himself an independent thinker?
By the way, I loved it when he said, I just got my booster. He had to tweet it out. I just got my booster. I'm off to see Superman or Spider-Man or whatever comic. By the way, let's get back to comics when we get a chance and look at EA Sports. But the whole thing's ridiculous. Like, he should have been more balanced. Give me a break. More balanced. More balanced would be a lot different than what would happen. Matt, speaking of balance, maybe you don't know this, but Fidelity, and this was a breaking news item out of Bitcoin magazine, 11.1 trillion Fidelity believes Bitcoin has the potential to be the primary monetary good. That's a pretty big statement, but I do know this about Fidelity. They have been invested in, put money towards not just investing in Bitcoin, but really understanding the whole ecosystem of Bitcoin in particular and the crypto landscape. So listen, let's look at the Bitcoin chart, and you can think whatever you want. Bitcoin's going to go to 1 million. Bitcoin's going to go to 0. It doesn't really matter, because we've said all along, and I've said forever in this space, please show me a chart that's got some tradable volume, and then we can have a discussion, because I don't know. I have no idea what's going to win out.
I'm just going to say triple Galaga and let it rest.
And it's pretty, the chart is so crystal clear. It's in the middle of this giant, let's call it, it's a pretty big, meaty profile.
Yeah, I would love
well-balanced, meaty profile.
I would love Bob to sell 47 to 52,000. I would love it.
And again, now you're wrong. If it spends time and volume, builds volume above 52,000, you're out. And maybe,
exactly.
And here's the thing. We are never going to 100,000 until you build time and volume on this chart above 52,000. It's never happening.
Correct.
Right. And I say the same thing. Like, we are never going to 100,000 unless it closes in up momentum on the weekly.
And as traders, we reserve our right to change our minds when it does that. But right now, it does. I don't see that. You only can look at what you have right now. Don't put yourself into what if, because it's not trading 54,000 and it hasn't been there for a month. It's trading 38 and is chumming along the bottom, which has a lot of people that are just standing around shooting each other. That's what's happening. And guess what? And so until they resolve,
OK Corral is actually a draw right now.
Until they resolve that gun, that gun smoke shootout, up or down, I don't know which way it's going to go.
And again, conversely, we've talked about this bottom. They tested it. You need to build some time and volume below the low end of that, which was what, 29,000, 30,000?
Yeah, well, that's why I was calling for 29 to 32. We dipped into the 32s. So there you go. This is the area it should have paused, and I still think it even needs to go down a little. The low is in the 29s here, so it's got to at least test that.
One would think.
Anyway,
again, this also points.
We may be at 100,000 before it tests 30. I don't know.
But
I'm not going to make. The only big bet I would make here is buy 30 and stop at 28. Okay, that's a big bet.
All right, man. I just figured out the Segway, and not the scooter that was supposed to change the world.
Right?
Remember that Segway was going to change the world. I want to talk about irony. You shared this. George Soros just released a statement calling China's Xi Jinping the greatest threat that open societies face today. George and the World Economic Forum have no control over Russia or China, and they know they fail without the big three, US, China, and Russia. They're global ideals for sure. But is this, I find this incredibly ironic. Here's a guy fully aligned with the Great Reset. You will own nothing. And by all measure, shutting down narratives left, right, and center that disagree with them. And then calling the guy that's done it the best in the last, or the CCP by far has done it the best in the last 40 years, calling them out that they're the danger. I don't know. Does it get any more ironic than that? It's
as ironic as, where's Justin Trudeau calling out, the truckers for being racist. They're all racist, misogynist, and in bed with Russia. That's what's going on with these truckers.
Meanwhile, can you imagine looking at somebody with a straight face and say, you need to get vaccinated double vaccinated, boosted, just like I did. So you
And
can get.
And I have COVID.
I mean, it's unbelievable.
But I'm fine.
Man,
But I'm fine. All you caring people.
I'm going to hike Mount Bachelor,
people,
and I got to tell you, I would not buy skis that told me they don't come off. Like, buy these skis, they're great. Well, they came off. All right, hold on. Let me make an adjustment. Well, they came off again. You know what? Let me do one more adjustment on the skis. They'll be fine. They keep fucking coming off. They're no good. I keep wiping out. Anyway, Matt, let's how about, we haven't looked at it in a while, and maybe ever, is the Great British Pound. George Soros, by the way, made most of his money taking on the Bank of England, correct? Have we looked at the pound lately? Because if you don't want to look at the pound, we've rolled a month, and I want to bring up a monthly chart in the SPOOs to talk about synergy, Matt, synergy.
We can look at that dead currency.
Come on. It used to be the greatest currency on the planet.
Well,
for 100 years.
That was in the 1800s, maybe into World War II. Yeah, I mean, we had a little rally a year ago. This is 1 year ago, 142, and we've traded as low recently down here to 131. Rallied right into the middle of the profile. Boom, 137, halfway back, rolling back over again. Slow mover, Bob.
It is a slow mover, and it looks fairly. Again, this is an asset that
looks toppy to me.
It looks toppy, but it for sure is a more balanced curve looking distribution.
Kind of. I mean, I went to the weekly just so we can take you back to 2000. That's just a slow death, is all this is. Like all currencies, slow death. You're above the trend line, so I guess you better get long
the pound. All right, man. Let me share on a monthly basis. Monthly fractals. And this jumped out at me. I am not able to share yet, Matt. So sharing is caring, and that's what we want to be. Careful, be careful. Still sharing. Hold on, let me play a little guitar while Matt tries to give me.
You're all set. You're all set.
All set. By the way, again. My NFT coming, Driftwood Duck.
Make a bid.
Now, this is going to be beautiful because you're going to have the NFT. I got to take a picture of the duck, as an art piece for the NFT.
I think you need to paint like the mallard head. And then
this was.
And then put a big O on it. No. I'm just trying to help you with the marketing. Then put a big O on it.
Who's the artist here, me or you?
Put a big O on it for all the duck fans, and then you have something.
We could do that in the NFT space.
I'm just saying.
Driftwood Duck on it. Yeah. How long do you think it was out to sea? Could have been out to sea for 20 years. Who knows? Washed up on the. Man, let me share. Nuance. Here we go. Nuance. No, synergy. We talk about synergy when multiple trading methodologies and/or timeframes line up with the exact same spot on a chart. Nowhere more clear than the monthly in this S&P 500 continuation chart. And the 618 retracement that we talked about, 4580, and the up momentum level, mind the mo, 4581 quarter. Dead nuts accurate, balls to the walls. If it gets up there, Matt, I will be selling with both hands. And I also think that becomes a magnet on strength, right? If we start to trade above this 50% retracement where we've been toiling for the last 24 hours, basically, right at and by the way, amazingly, that monthly candle, when you look at it, the whole retracement is just, the fibs are just off of that monthly, right? Because it engulfed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
7,
nearly 7 months of action.
But it didn't close. But it didn't close at that level.
It did not close, right? And again, I've said before, I'm a slave to the slope, and we have not changed the slope, especially on the momentum lines yet, on this monthly chart. But if we put in a lower month on February, let's say we go ping, let's play the if then, we go ping that 4581, it's not able to penetrate above there. And then we put in another red candle. That type of scenario in February is going to make March very, very interesting. lining up with a bunch of other cycles that people that have talked about, people that we follow. So anyway, interesting stuff.
All that means is Paul Tudor Jones can maintain his long from 2007.
Yes, right now on the monthly for sure, 100%.
Yeah,
I agree with that 100%.
2008, 2009 when it bottomed.
All right, man. EA Sports. We said we're going to talk EA Sports.
Yeah, but before we do that, I want to talk about coffee because there's always a bull market in markets, and I want to bring up Bros again, a local company, Dutch Bros. Look at this move. Look at this move.
We talked about it down in the lows there.
38.
I don't trade stocks, so I didn't get involved, but you for sure brought it up. We talked about what a great model it is. It's way better as far as I'm concerned than the Starbucks model.
I just want to say take profits again because you just got a 60% move in less than 2 weeks. And look at that, perfect how it busted out, came back, tested, boom, ejected. Ejection seat. Warning. But now I could go someplace very. Now, I do want to point out this is a new issue. Just started trading last September, so that's another reason to eject it. But I mean, 60% move. You caught the bottom there for God's sake.
And again, look how perfect that distribution is.
Perfect.
Why wouldn't you take that money?
Take the profits. At least buy yourself some puts to even it out. If you don't want to sell it, that way at least you got some protection.
Or sell the calls out to the double top.
Or sell the calls at 65, 70, exactly, because you already own the stock. There's a lot of ways to protect yourself, but by all means, don't sit naked. Like Bob,
get a Trojan on for God's
sake. Like Bob is right now below the waist.
For sure, 100%. Tubin the whole show. The EA Sports, man, it's in the game. I got him with that one, fans. We can't go back to Davio just yet. He's got to collect himself.
I can't even tell you what came into my head. I'll tell you after the show. I'll tell you after the show, and I'll give you the secret signal too.
It's in the game.
Yeah, I was looking at EA Sports. I was looking at a longer term, time frame. ATV Activision just got bought by Microsoft after they slammed the company with a sexual predator, some type of thing against the CEO. They got that on the cheap, but EA is just hanging up here. I mean, talk about stocks that have performed well. It makes sense.
Well, bring it up. We don't see it.
Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry about that. I'm looking at it and talking about it and haven't shown you. The stock looks heavy. Again, it just rallied back here to the point of control and ran out of steam again, which makes sense. This is not.
Let me just say too. I love bringing these up when it's the first time I've looked at it, pretty much ever. And that looks exactly like the Russell did, just chumming at the top. And then when you break this giant congestion that it has,
right?
And that's what you got to be patient for.
Yeah. And again, I think you play ping pong until then, but you're basically, as you said, Bob, 120 to 150. You're in that 30-point bracket and have been, going back to May of 20. So this has been a long, which makes sense. Again, all the kids play video games. They're all playing, EA has a big chunk of the market. 36 billion, 37 billion market cap, pays a little dividend, half of a point. Trades well. It's a great trader. I used to trade this a lot when I was exclusive, more exclusive equities, but it does move every day and it's got good volume. It averages about 3 million shares a day. So that's pretty good volume. That's something you can trade with some thickness for sure if you want to trade a name. But again, I don't recommend day trading equities to begin with, but if you like the 2-week, 3-week schedules, that seems to be a good optimum trading time frame for this trader. You do you, I'll do me. But can you imagine if Justin Trudeau said you can't swing trade on a three-week chart, but you can only day trade? Can you imagine if that was happening?
Well, it's basically I've said enough. He's a punk. That's all I need to say.
Punk soul brother right about now. Punk soul brother.
Matt, the year of the tiger here as we go again to the Olympics. Some crazy stories around the Olympics, right? Harvesting DNA and all kinds of crazy shit. And I don't know what to believe. So I believe I'll have another drink.
Well, my favorite story is this one that I brought up this morning. It's not a news story. She announced in 2019, but this is a Stanford gal, grew up in the Bay Area, skier, and she's skiing for the Chinese, and born in the U.S., but obviously has heritage from China, and decided she would take the China money.
Yeah, you cannot tell. I'm a cynical person, so I immediately think that there's China money behind this.
Well, there is Red Bull, China. And also Victoria's Secret has already got her on the, and she's good. She's apparently one of these tricksters. They do these crazy 1440 double corks. What's a 1440? Is that like 4 times? Jeez, it's insane. 4 times.
Unreal.
So she's
All
good.
right, Matt, I don't know what else to talk about.
So the opening ceremonies do kick off Thursday, right? Today is the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, I believe so. Hockey team is a bunch of hodgepodge. I think there's 6 Michigan players on the team, just to point out.
Current Michigan.
Maybe 2 or 3 current, 3 that are somewhere in some minor league program.
They're in some beer fight league somewhere.
No, they're in like the Czech league or the Russian league. There's those leagues.
Roger that.
Those leagues are pretty good talent. If you want to play and you're young and you're 20, why not go to Russia or Czech for a few years? It's a good place to go. I don't know. I'm not, how about you? What do you like in the Winter Olympics? I do like the hockey.
I liked when the downhill, actually, you thought somebody was going to die at that.
Where are they skiing? By the way, where are they skiing in Beijing?
Well, they're not, but there's a lot of mountains in China. So
right. I know. They're just taking them somewhere.
I'm sure they're on a.
And then who do you like? Who I have no idea. Who do you like in the the sports that I can't stand, gymnastics and figure skating, because they have votes. I can't stand
gymnastics is the Summer Olympics, you cretin.
But I'm just saying these 2 sports to me are the dumbest, because I like watching them, but don't get me wrong. But how does the fan really know?
It depends on how many judges have been paid off. Let's face it.
Right. And who's got the deepest pockets this year? Is it Russia, China, or the US?
I don't know. I'm not sure I'll spend very much time watching any of it. All right, Matt, thank you so much. Please visit us at marketvitals.io. Please share, retweet.
Early line,
fringe.
Early line, 4.5 on the Rams, 49, I think 49.5 plus minus. There's the over under. And early odds are Matty Ice. That's for you, Ricky. Matty Ice Stafford.
I did. You know what I did see?
For the MVP.
Yes, I did see that Odell Beckham is 4,000 to 1.
Oh, really?
On the MVP. I think that's a good bet. I mean, the guy could have a giant game. He certainly has the talent.
I'd put a buck or 2 on that.
Right. I mean, why wouldn't you?
Yeah, I like that.
That's my money. Odell Beckham MVP.
Odell Beckham MVP. I don't know. What about Cooper Kupp? He's got to be up there. He's got to be,
he's plus, like only 400.
That's pretty good, though. I like that bet. Because maybe he'll get a punt return and 3 or 4 touchdowns by Matty Ice. But then Matty Ice would get it. It's hard for a receiver to get it. I mean, it really is. Unless he's doing Charles Woodson like things, returning punts, intercepting, and making catches.
Roger that.
It's hard to win.
All right. That's it. Calling it. NFT Driftwood Duck on the way. Thank you, Matt.
Peace, Bob.